strength coaching is an opportunity to meet with someone who's had a chance to work directly with Gallup. All of the coaches have actually taken some time to go through some training directly from them on learning more about strengths, learning more about how to coach. And they've also had some opportunities to perform some individual coaching sessions with other people. So they're people who are very well versed in in all the 34 different strengths, and they are there to help you learn a little bit more about your own individual strengths and what you can do to try to make the most of them.
I think it's really important, if you want to understand how the Strengths Finder works, to do a coaching session, because you can read the information and kind of make guesses, but I think, you know, there's additional training and they're more used to seeing how things interact, and so it might be more useful to you to have that information, have somebody who can kind of help you work on it. I would say, if I was going to tell somebody who was going into a coaching session, I would say, ask questions, like be prepared with some questions that, you know, even if it's like, I'm having this situation that I'm dealing with in the office, is there something in here that can give me a clue on how to handle it? Because a lot of times there is, and a lot of times you'll find that even just with your own strengths, not even knowing anybody else's. So.
And to get to know yourself better so you can make the workplace better, you know. I think if you find those key strengths and you work off them, it tends to help a lot more than just wandering around in the dark, really.
The overall goal of coaching is to help you make the most of your talents. Like I said, everybody's a little different, and so we're not going to say that everybody has to do the exact same things in every single session. Sometimes people they come into a session knowing a little bit more about strengths, and sometimes they come in never really hearing much about it. And so I would say the goal is to help you, at the very least, identify what your strengths are, and then identify some specific actions you can take to try to make the most of them, to try to focus them and try to build them into something exceptional.
It was better than I thought it would be. Like going in, I was nervous about it. I was a bit apprehensive. You always feel like maybe you're not getting in trouble, but they're going to analyze you, or you don't know what's going to happen if you're going to be analyzed, or it's just weird. But it was better than I expected. It just felt like just chatting with somebody about stuff and bringing up the strengths. It didn't feel business-like. It was just like a more relaxed environment, but it was super good. It was super chill. I liked it. It was just a conversation.
All coaches have a little bit of a different style, but generally what you'll do is you'll have a chance to learn a little bit more about your own individual strengths, and then usually you'll go through some kind of an activity with the coach to try to identify ways you can focus your strengths. One of the things about the talents themselves is that the talents by themselves don't always lead to greatness necessarily. It's only through specific application and through really focusing your talents towards something productive is really how you can turn those talents into strengths.
It was actually really a good conversation. We had a couple of sessions, and I liked that there was a lot of back and forth, because I kind of came into it, okay, I've taken this test and I don't know what it means. Here's interpret my horoscope, basically, is kind of, I walked in and I didn't really know what to do, like what kind of questions to ask. But Eileen took a look at my strengths, and she says, okay, let's take a look and see if there's anything that you have questions about. Like, is there anything that you don't know about or you really want to investigate further? And I had all the 34, and so we looked through all those, and she kind of showed me some trends, which that was interesting to me. And we talked about how this is just your top 5 are your most common reaction. So this is what you're going to rely on. It doesn't mean you don't have all of those others, or that you can't use all of those other strengths. This is just your natural inclination.
It was really helpful to me. It was helpful in the ways of looking at my strengths and how I can use those in the workplace, as far as being a better leader and a lot of things like along the lines of, oh, if I'm positive, then I can help the guys be positive. If I'm strategic, I can think of a plan and we can accomplish it all together. And that's kind of what the coaching session did for me as far as that.
I had no idea what ideation was. I had no concept. I looked at that and I was like, that's a made-up word. But when we started talking about it and I started doing a little bit more research on it, I realized that is like how my brain works. And one thing that there was a suggestion in there, because everybody, that you have your blind spots, and it said because your brain works this way, you sometimes skip ahead and people don't follow you. And so I was like, oh, that explains a lot. So when I'm talking to people now, if I am trying to explain something, I pay closer attention to whether or not they're following what I'm saying, because it could be that I've skipped a bunch of steps when I'm talking, explaining myself, because in my head it just goes there. And that was really kind of a useful technique, and I've used that a ton. It's like, okay, wait, somebody's not following me. I probably need to break this down a little bit better.
It really helped. Like it does help actually just put them into work that you don't have to think about it. You just do it, like kind of like muscle memory. Yeah, it actually helps. And it's like, oh, okay, I can do this. I've been doing it apparently without me knowing it, like in my previous jobs or school or anywhere else. So yeah, it is. I did get something out of it. Like it helped.
If you go to the Grow the Good site, and I think there's a few other places, we actually have an online form. You can fill it out, and you can not only if you've taken the assessment, you can get a copy of your recent results. If you haven't taken the assessment, it's a great way to take it. And then also through that same form is how you can actually schedule time with a coach as well.